What's going on, YouTube? I know it has been a while since we've talked, and we've gotten a lot done here on the property in that time frame. And I have to be honest, it's been real nice not having to pick this thing up and talk into it. I am going to try to force myself here to try to put out a little bit more content. It is getting pretty warm here in Florida, and a lot of the major projects have already been done or completed so far this year. Not our goals that we talked about a long time ago. Those are still being worked on, but major construction and the pigs, everything else is kind of on cruise control. So the girls have been talking for a while, and we've wanted to get a chicken set up. So that's what we're going to be working on here for the next couple days. Some of y'all might remember one of our very first projects that we did, the wife and I worked on, was this little shed here, a storage shed, which has kind of become a spot where our feed and seed and fertilizer and tools and kids' toys and everything else kind of gets smuggled into. And it's going to be the new spot for our chicken run slash chicken coop area. Right up here on the walls, you can see 3 boards that I've mounted up to it. On the back side, there's 2x4s that run horizontal all the way across. So I tapped in on the top and bottom to some 2x4s that we've already got. We're gonna set some 2x6s up on it and get a little header going for like a lean-to roof. We are going to be using that metal siding or the metal roof panels for this project. We're only coming out about 8 feet from the wall for the roof. So we're coming out roughly probably right where that stand is, right there, the tripod. And then total length, we're going to come out 16 all the way to the corner. That'll shoot right down here and then back along. If y'all remember the original pig pen setup we had for our first 2 Duroc hogs, it's going to kind of be the same layout, 16 by 20 something by 16, and that'll be where these chickens are going to spend most of their lives. We're going to have a roost and lane boxes and everything inside there with them. They can be put up in that at night, and then in the morning we'll let them out and keep them mostly in here, and then later on talk about maybe free ranging them. But for the most part, this should be a pretty good size for the amount of chickens we're going to have. All right, well, that wasn't necessarily the easiest thing, but I used a few tricks I learned in the Girl Scouts, and we ended up getting it up there. So we got a little header that we can attach to. And I don't necessarily know if I'm going to buy the right ones. I haven't purchased them yet, but Simpson makes like a rafter hanger that goes up there that I think is made for like a 2x6. And I believe with the way it's laid out, we can just kind of cut the angle we need for the 112 pitch, and it should fit right in there. Run some screws in, and then we'll just, you know, if you can imagine it, we'll just have 2x4s, maybe like 2 foot on center, and then we'll go through over top of that with some 1x4s, and we'll screw our steel to that. So that's done. I don't have a whole lot of lumber, but the stuff I do have, I'm gonna have to do some layout here now, because we've got to figure out where our 3 4x4 posts are gonna go. They're 8 foot tall. So I'm gonna get some string and get some stakes, and I think we're gonna try to find that out. Before we do that, we're gonna have to take this apart from our last project that you guys haven't seen yet, or some of you know about, you just haven't seen it yet. Great thing about metal siding, you've got all kind of screw heads that you can run a string line to. Perfect. And you don't have to put a whole new hole in the building. Well, there's the line if you can see it. There's our pink string line right there. Boom, right to the corner. We've used that square to make sure we're squared up to the building. And there's my line in the ground where the edge of our post is going to need to go. So our post is going to go somewhere right in there when we're all said and done. And just so y'all know, I am kind of roughing it. I'm not exactly getting real critical about measurements and 100% square and everything like that. We're not going to live in it. It's just going to be for chickens. So I'm going to rough estimate where everything's going to go, and just kind of play it real loose here. So let me get the post hole diggers, and I'm going to make a little hole in the ground. Got my special edition post hole diggers. These come straight out of Mexico. They say with the red and black handle combo, especially with the sleeve color difference, you can dig like 5 times faster, maybe even 10. So we're gonna give it a try and see if we can do it. Well, man, they weren't lying. I dug that damn hole so fast I had to fill it back in with some. We got way past. We were almost at 3 feet by the time I measured it. We're only going for 2 to keep our post about 6 foot out of the ground. So I'm glad I checked it. I would have been smelling fried rice real quick, and we'd all would have been in some deep trouble. So we'll get my post in here. We're gonna dry pack this hole just because I don't feel like messing with it too much, but we're gonna make sure it's all plumb and dry pack it. All right, our post is in our hole here, and I had to recruit a little helper because I don't have enough hands, or my arms aren't long enough. So she's gonna hold this tape measure up against the wall, and we're gonna make sure that our outside edge is right where we need it. So 7'6", 7'8" and a quarter. All right, the magic of television. Post is in the ground. We got it dry packed. Dinner is ready. So Livy and I are gonna run inside and we're gonna eat and come back out and clean up. It's gonna be probably a multi-day video, so I'll see you tomorrow, which is technically the same video. So it'll seem like today, but it's really tomorrow. So anyways, we'll see y'all.